Liebe Adventure-Treffleser, wir sind hier live aus London, England, auf einer Mission. Die Mission lautet Sprachaufnahmen von Gray Matter. Mission Teil 2 lautet Jane Jensen besuchen und so viel wie möglich erfahren über die Rückkehr einer Adventure-Legende. Und wenn ich hier nach links gucke, haben wir hier zwei Leute, die ihr vielleicht kennt. Das eine ist ein geschätzter Kollege von unserer Partnerseite Adventure Gamers. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi, I'm Mark Jones from Adventure Gamers.
Okay, hi. And this is Klaas Wolter, PR-Manager von DTP Entertainment.
Ja, ich bin ein riesiger Jane Jensen-Fan. Ich bin damals mit den Gabriel-Knight-Spielen und sowieso mit den ganzen Sierra-Adventures aufgewachsen und freue mich von daher tierisch, jetzt an einem Jane Jensen-Adventure mitarbeiten zu dürfen.
Okay, vielen Dank. Dann geht's los Richtung London.
What my real name?
Your real name.
Phillipa Alexander, but I'm actually Sam Everett. So. With Sam, basically, she comes from sort of a damaged background as such, so she's got a little bit of a history there. So her being 24, as I am, so I kind of figured I'd just play myself. Mm-hmm. No, Sam's background is a little bit, so she's a little bit precious and she's damaged and she's, I think she's a little bit wary, you know, of people still. She's a little bit cautious of who she can trust, and but she still also wants to fit in. So I'm just sort of bringing that to the table in some respects with the way I deliver my lines. So, but she's quite a character. I got involved because I got asked along by Lorelei King and also from Jane to play the role of Sam Everett, and it's been a really fun experience. Yeah, it's been really great. Mainly from doing the voiceovers. I mean, I'm working on a show right now with Lorelei anyway, so she's the voice director. So with that in mind, she's cast me, so it's really great to have another opportunity. I've done a few games before, but this one's just, it's more thought-provoking, you know, it's just more interesting than shoot 'em up, kill 'em kind of thing, so it's great. Adventure game, probably actually, yeah. I think it's more of a case before, it was like I was saying, it's like shoot 'em up, kill 'em, kind of, you know, pow, you know, falling from buildings and like, you know, grunts and groans. So with this one, it's just, you know, you have to use your mind a bit more, and I think it's great for kids as well and grown-ups who are going to play the game, because you have to remember things a lot. You have to go in the game and sort of, you know, it's just more interesting than having a gun just in your hand. I think it just uses different aspects of life. My husband does, yeah. I watch. I watch from afar, and I hear everything going on downstairs. So I'm not myself, but I think I'm definitely intrigued. I'm intrigued with this one because I think it's the fact that it is more of a storyline. It's just more interesting for me. So I think I might get involved. I like that she's a bit devious. I like that, and I also like the fact that she doesn't just hold her heart on her sleeve, you know, she's just a little bit intriguing. She doesn't show everything, so it's more of a mystery. I think that's what I like about her. She's mysterious. I think so, yeah. I got a bit of that, maybe, yeah. Mysterious, yes. Yeah, definitely. I hope so. But I think she's more of an interesting all-rounded character, so it's nice to be somebody else for a couple of days. I hope so. I hope there's going to be sequel after sequel. It'll be really great, because it's a fantastic game, basically. It's brilliant. It's a good story, good storyline from Jane. Tiptoeing. I think that's more to describe it. I think she's tiptoeing a little bit with him. She doesn't want to sort of show all her cards, basically.
Yeah.
Well, the game is set near Oxford in England. So there's a lot of real-life locations that we're using from Oxford, which is kind of fun. The story is that a 23-year-old American who's been bumming around Europe for a few years. She's a street magician. That's how she's been earning money. And she runs out of money and luck one night on a dark country road and stumbles upon this house. And sort of by accident ends up getting involved in this house, pretending to be this assistant they were expecting. So it's got a very Gothic opening of the traditional damsel in distress in this mysterious house, and you don't know who the owner is and why there's this dark mystery surrounding the house. But it's got a lot of modern elements to it because the man who lives there, David Stiles, who's one of the main characters, he's a neurobiologist at Oxford. But he's been a complete recluse for the last 5 years after this terrible accident. And he's got a lot of sort of strange ideas. You don't know if he's really crazy or if he's, just brilliant and eccentric. The story involves an experiment that he's doing with students from Oxford. And these strange events are happening on campus that seem to be related to this experiment. So Sam is investigating. She's a magician, so she's very much a skeptic. So we sort of have the, David and Scully relationship going on there. And it's got a lot of, I'm going to say pop science in it, but sort of the way CSI uses forensics. We have a lot of actual items in the game about the brain and powers of the mind, and I think it's kind of different and interesting, hopefully. So we have a music company in Hamburg, Periscope, that's putting together the soundtrack for the game and doing the special effects and all of that. And Robert Holmes, who did the music for the 3 Gabriel-Knight games, is doing the big themes in the game. And he's composing them, and then Periscope will be using those to create alternate melodies and create the entire soundtrack. So I think it's going to be great. Well, I think they'll be sort of in between what I've been doing in casual games and maybe where I would have been doing in Gabriel-Knight 3, for example. So I think I've progressed more towards making things approachable, but it's definitely not going to be as easy as a casual game. So kind of somewhere in between. But I think the puzzles are interesting in that they're really unusual for adventure games. We will have a point system, yes. And we're also doing something new, which is that there's a progress meter you can bring up that will, so say for example you're in chapter 1, it'll just tell you the name of the big plot lines that you're working on, and it'll show you how much of them you've accomplished for this chapter. So it might say you're 37% done and you've done 100% of Betrayer's Price, but you've only done 10% of Sam the assistant or something like that, so that you have a little bit more idea of where you are within the chapter. It's more Sam. You play 3 chapters as David, and there's 7 chapters, or actually 8. Well, I think it is the same in that it really is a big, epic, old-fashioned, story-based adventure game. It's definitely much more on the scope and scale of, say, Gabriel-Knight 3. It's a big game. It really is going to take, I think, at least 40 hours to play, and it's also very very character driven, and it involves the paranormal, and there's some investigative kind of gameplay with Sam as she's trying to figure out what's going on.